What up with the YouTube world? You in the house with your boy Chin Checker. I like to say shout out to Audit the Audit first of all. They're the ones that compile all the evidence in these videos. They do a great job with it. Shout out to them. Shout out to all my subscribers, the ones been rocking with me from the beginning. Say, man, I need y'all to do me a favor. This is what they call that call to action. I need at least 200 more subscribers, y'all, to get to 500. Can y'all help me please? Just hit that subscribe button, hit that notification, let me know how I'm doing. You already know, leave the comment. I'm not going to talk too much farther, but the cops get the biggest lawsuit of ever. You're going to want to watch this one to the end. It's funny, but not really funny, but they have to pay up. Without further ado, let's get right into this reaction video. Crooked cops once again. Your boy Chin Checker. Also, the Dirty Dozen will be in stores this week. Peace.
After 7:30 p.m. on Friday, September 16, 2022, 20-year-old TSA agent Yareni Rios Gonzalez was pulled over just north of Platteville, Colorado by an unidentified officer from the Platteville Police Department, who was quickly joined by two unidentified officers from the Fort Lupton Police Department. The officers were responding to a call regarding a potential road rage incident involving a firearm. Ms. Rios Gonzalez stopped her vehicle just past a set of railroad tracks, and the Platteville officer parked his vehicle behind her on the track. All three officers exited their vehicles and began to shout orders at Ms. Rios Gonzalez.
Ooh, guns out.
Driver, let me see your hand. Put both hands out the window.
I hate to hear that.
Special 346, we're giving commands. Her hands are out the window at this time.
Open your door. With your right hand, open your door. Come on out.
Ooh, guns out.
Yeah. It's Special 346. She's out of the vehicle. Hands are visible.
This side?
Yeah. Vasquez! Hey!
Lift your hands up. Lift your hands up. Okay? Turn around. Turn around. Turn around!
Ooh, I know they scared.
Put your hands up higher. I want you to set your phone down at the edge of your truck.
On your left.
You don't need it. You can leave it on. Come on back. Keep coming back.
Ooh,
Keep
got
your hands
that gun
up. Keep
tilted.
coming back. Keep coming back to the sound of my voice. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. Keep coming back.
Ooh, don't make
Stop
a
right
false
there.
move.
Get down on one knee and then the other.
I got cuffs.
Go ahead.
Good? Keep your hands above your head.
Don't move.
Oh, that's a little female.
What's going on? Why am I being... We'll explain everything in a second.
Can I get
Who
my
else is in
cell
the
phone,
truck?
please? No one else is in the truck, sir. Can I please get my cell phone?
We'll get it for you.
Don't worry
Stand
about
up.
yourself.
Please. Where are you taking me?
We're taking you to the car. Come on.
Why? What?
Do you have anything on you that's going to poke me, stick me, hurt me?
No, ma'am, but can I please get my cell phone?
We'll get your cell phone in a second. Is there any weapons in the car?
Ready?
No, ma'am, there's nothing on
There's
me.
no weapons in the car? Okay.
Everybody out in the car, come on.
What's going on? Ma'am, what's going on?
I'll tell you in a second. Take a seat.
I'm so confused. Can I get
Take a
my
seat.
cell phone?
I will get your cell phone for you. Take a seat.
The female officer handcuffs Ms. Rios Gonzalez and places her in the back seat of the police cruiser that is parked on the train tracks. Under Section 42-4-1204 of the Colorado Revised Statutes, quote, no person shall stop, stand, or park a vehicle, except when necessary to avoid conflict with other traffic or in compliance with the directions of a police officer or an official traffic control device on any railroad tracks. Any person who violates any provision of this section commits a Class B traffic infraction. Despite this, Section 42-4-108 of the Colorado Revised Statutes provides that, quote, the driver of an authorized emergency vehicle, when responding to an emergency call, or when in pursuit of an actual or suspected violator of the law, may park or stand, irrespective of the provisions of this title. However, the statute also includes a caveat that, quote, the provisions of this section shall not relieve the driver of an authorized emergency vehicle from the duty to drive with due regard for the safety of all persons, nor shall such provisions protect the driver from the consequences of such driver's reckless disregard for the safety of others. It seems obvious that parking a vehicle on train tracks, let alone leaving a handcuffed individual in the back seat of an unattended cruiser parked on railroad tracks, demonstrates a clear, reckless disregard for the safety of others, not only for Ms. Rios Gonzalez herself, but also for any personnel or passengers of an approaching train. And it is therefore likely that a court would conclude that parking on train tracks in this situation was a violation of the Colorado Traffic Code.
I see a car seat.
Ooh, we got that long clip.
Clear.
What is that, a machine
Let's get the
gun?
bed. Come across. Clear. Dispatch looking 348. Vehicle's clear. You can raise the channel.
Meanwhile, she sits on the train tracks. It's crazy.
It took her a long time to pull over.
I got a holster right here in the passenger seat.
It took her a very long time to pull over.
I'm going.
Did you see her toss anything?
She could have, because it took her a long time to pull over.
As Ms. Rios-Gonzalez remains handcuffed and locked in the back of the unattended cruiser, the officers search her vehicle for a firearm, without taking any actions to ensure her safety despite her vulnerable position on the train tracks. In general, as the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, which has jurisdiction over Colorado, explained in the 2003 case of Raska ex rel Raska versus Peterson, quote, states must ensure reasonable care and safety to persons within their custody. Under the due process clause of the 14th Amendment, government officials cannot, quote, deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. And as the Supreme Court noted in the 1977 case of Ingram versus Wright, quote, the liberty preserved from deprivation without due process included the right to be free from and to obtain judicial relief for unjustified intrusions on personal security. Nevertheless, the Supreme Court concluded in the 1989 case of DeShaney versus Winnebago County Department of Social Services that, as a general matter, the Due Process Clause does not create a state duty to protect an individual against injury caused by a third party. However, the court also noted that, quote, when the state takes a person into its custody and holds him there against his will, the Constitution imposes upon it a corresponding duty to assume some responsibility for his safety and general well-being. The court further explained that, quote, the affirmative duty to protect arises from the limitation which it is imposed on his freedom to act on his own behalf. It is the state's affirmative act of restraining the individual's freedom to act on his own behalf through incarceration, institutionalization, or other similar restraint of personal liberty, which is the deprivation of liberty, triggering the protections of the Due Process Clause. Still, as the Supreme Court held in the 1986 case of Daniels versus Williams, quote, the Due Process Clause is simply not implicated by a negligent act of an official causing unintended loss of or injury to life, liberty, or property. And the mere lack of due care by a state official cannot deprive an individual of life, liberty, or property under the 14th Amendment. Rather, as the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals detailed in the 1990 case of Berry versus City of Muskogee, a government actor must act with so-called deliberate indifference towards a confined individual's safety in order for the Due Process Clause to be implicated. In the Berry case, the 10th Circuit explained that, quote, deliberate indifference does not require a finding of express intent to harm, but must involve more than ordinary lack of due care for the prisoner's interests or safety, and that while requiring a higher degree of fault than negligence, or even gross negligence, the deliberate indifference standard, quote, remains lower than the intentional and malicious infliction of injury. The court therefore concluded that, quote, an official acts with deliberate indifference if its conduct disregards a known or obvious risk that is very likely to result in the violation of a prisoner's
constitutional rights. You already know that train
rights.
most likely will hit that car. In this situation, there is a strong argument that leaving Ms. Rios-Gonzalez in the back of a police cruiser parked on train tracks would satisfy the deliberate indifference standard, because the officers demonstrated a total disregard for the obvious danger posed by parking on railroad tracks. However, as we will discuss momentarily, it is also possible that a court could conclude that a different legal standard should be applied to this situation.
She could have, because when I was behind her, she was driving slow enough.
Yeah.
So she could have tossed something, but I literally
Tossed it out the window?
She could have out that window, but
No, that's
train coming.
It's on the track. Oh my god! Did us medical emergency. The suspect was in the vehicle that was hit by the train.
Oh my goodness! Oh my lord! Oh my goodness!
Watch the fence.
While the officers continue to search the vehicle, a train approaches and hits the unattended cruiser, which is still parked on the tracks with Ms. Rios-Gonzalez inside.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The Due Process Clause of the Constitution prohibits officers from taking actions that demonstrate deliberate indifference towards the well-being of individuals they have taken into custody. However, in the 2014 case of Walton versus Gomez, the 10th Circuit specified that while, quote, the 14th Amendment governs any claim of excessive force brought by a pretrial detainee who has had a judicial determination of probable cause as a prerequisite to the extended restraint of his liberty following arrest, the Fourth Amendment, not the 14th, governs excessive force claims arising from, quote, treatment of an arrestee detained without a warrant and prior to any probable cause hearing. According to the 10th Circuit in the 2019 case of McCowan versus Morales, quote, a Fourth Amendment excessive force claim is governed by a purely objective standard. A police officer violates an arrestee's Fourth Amendment right to be free from excessive force during an arrest if the officer's actions were not objectively reasonable in light of the facts and circumstances confronting him. This reasonableness standard is generally much easier to meet than the deliberate indifference standard applied in due process cases.
As
but
if
it
they
is
didn't do it on
uncertain
purpose.
which standard a court reviewing this situation would apply. Although the 10th Circuit seemed to make it clear in the Walton case that the Fourth Amendment would apply to an arrestee who had not yet.
And I'm going to stop it right there, YouTube. I believe we've seen enough. Say, man, I believe these police just use reckless disregard and no care for this person's life, man. That's common sense. You don't park a car on a train track. Then it seemed like they were just harassing her. They just disregarded her life. They left her right there on the train track. I don't get it. Then all of a sudden, train coming, they want to scramble. Y'all know I'm going to have to do part 2 of this video. I'm going to let y'all know what happens to these cops. And I'm going to let you know whether this lady was safe. But I had to cut the video short. It was a little bit long. But I want you guys to leave that comment. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Do you think that was stupidity on the police's part? Man, you got to be more professional than that. Common sense, you don't park on the train track, first of all. Second of all, it take 3 of y'all to search the car. Neither one of the officers wouldn't even checked on the passenger. I mean, you know, on the person they had apprehended. That's flagrant disregard for life, man. I think those cops should be prosecuted, excuse me. We are going to have part 2 of this video. Leave a like, leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. Also, be on the lookout for that new album, The Dirty Dozen, in stores probably this week. Hit that subscribe button. All right, peace out. Also, Google Chin Checker. All right, peace. Part 2 coming up.